There's no urge for me to question anymore. But I just want to thank you for your work, Kapil.
Thank you.
Oh, hi. My apologies. So, if the desire to be, I guess I'm trying to approach the desire to be a legend by trying to figure out what I want, right? But I guess I want to be a legend, or if I was hoping, if the desire isn't there, I don't know. As I'm asking this question, I realize I don't know what I'm asking.
Well, if one wants to want, that the very fact that one wants to want raises the possibility that the very fact that he wants to want may result in him actually wanting, as opposed to someone who doesn't even want to want or doesn't even know that they don't want. So, what becomes of that, I don't know for a given individual. But the very fact that that's there, that one even wants to want, raises a possibility.
Okay.
So, in reading your words, a possibility has awoken in me that I want to play golf on a professional level, become a world-class golfer. However, my talent at the moment isn't there. So, I guess my question is, what awakens the mind towards skill access that I believe that I have innately without any mechanics or anything like that? I just believe and know, not believe, I know I have talent to make it.
Well, if the desire is there, then one will pursue to whatever depths they must pursue to make what they genuinely desire to make it happen.
I've been thinking about and sort of examining the extent to which I have been damaged by society and school. And I feel that I have certainly lost some of the innocence and purity that I had a child, but not all of it. So, by reading your articles, your discourses, I have seen changes that would not have happened by a do this and a do that. So, in order, my question is, in order to become a legend, in order to approach my art from a standpoint of truth, is exposure to truth the most effective path to grow the seed of innocence or purity?
Is what an effective path?
Exposure to truth.
Well, it's the only way. Because if you're not exposed to truth, how will you know the truth?
But so that
it's all about truth.
Right.
So if you're not exposed to truth, then you're only exposed to society and the world, and the society and the world is all lies. So that means by definition you're only exposed to lies, and that doesn't lead anywhere.
When we talk about conditioning, and what we are now is what made us is conditioning. But when we talk about prescriptions, and you are very strong about the culprit, but prescription can't reverse it. I cannot understand if conditioning has made us what we are, why not positive conditioning can make us what we want to be?
Go ahead, try it. See what results you get. Don't believe me.
No.
So it's kind of like the last question. Someone else asked if they want to have a desire, is that possible? And I want to know what actually needs to happen for that desire to happen, if they do want that to happen. Because I know is it through understanding, or I don't know. That's what I want to know.
No, I simply said that if there's a desire for a desire, then there's a possibility. That's all I can say. I mean, what fruit that will bear, where it goes for a given person, there's no way I can say. But I can say that there's a desire for something, even if that desire for something that doesn't exist, but the desire for it to exist does exist, then there's a possibility because the desires exist.
Tiger Woods, and he got connected to golf at a very, very young age, and that seed, maybe was contributed to him being a legend. And I don't sense it in my work, and I find myself drifting into these tenets of passion and searching for different kinds of work. So what is that connection?
I don't know what you mean by what is the connection.
So like
there's no behavioral element.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I mean, many people were introduced to sports at a young age. Did they become legends? No. So there's no behavior. There's no, if you do this, then you'll become one.
Right.
Are you sin? No, come on. Don't do that. You're in the wrong space. You need to go to like the Huffington Post or Google some 5 ways to be happy crap. That doesn't work here. By the way, I have nothing against the Huffington Post. It's just that someone who wants 3 ways to become this or 5 ways to become that. The Huffington Post is very prolific in publishing list posts for 5 ways to do this and 3 ways to do this, and that's what the questioner wanted. Therefore, they will perhaps find what they seek in outlets such as that. I have nothing personally against them. Just answering the question that looking for that's the kind of outlets that they can find people who publish list posts. That's where that person can find 3 ways to do this or 5 ways to do whatever they are looking for. But there's nothing in my domain that would satisfy that kind of question. Nothing at all against the Huffington Post.
Dr. Gupta, I don't know if you heard the beginning of my question. My mic was off, apparently. But my question is, when I have a pursuit and it involves someone else and they become unreliable, there's a compassion or there's a guilt that arises within me that I don't understand if it's just inherent.
I have to stay on topic though.
For seeking to be a legend.
Mm-hmm.
So my pursuit, I want to be good at it. I want to, to be effective and engaged and productive. And when other people, I employ or use other people toward that end, and they don't come through, it makes me wonder, what am I after? Am I after helping people, or am I after? So is there something inherent to working with other people that's just always going to be?
Yeah, so number one, what are you after? I mean, that's a fair question for yourself. I can't tell you what you're after. Number two, whenever you work with people, there is largely nothing but ineffectiveness and unreliability, and it essentially will usurp the individual's resources. But if one is doing something like building a company in which they need employees or whatever, it is what it is. And if that's what they want to do, despite that, then they have to be okay with the downsides that come with that. But the expectation of reliability and dependency and effectiveness from those who one employs is really it's impractical. And does that mean that they cannot find those who are more reliable? No, absolutely, they can. There's a scale. There's a gradation along for various degrees of reliability, and so one must do whatever they can to get the most reliable person. But the expectation, if one is devoted to something, that they're going to hire people who are equally devoted or anything close to that, is very unrealistic. And if it happens to happen, it happens. But any expectation of that is simply not going to work. And that's why the ultimate way to do things is alone, because then there's no element of reliability and dependency upon other people. But having said that, I fully realize that some pursuits. One can't do everything themselves in a company, and so there is that necessary evil, so to speak.
Thank you.
My question is, what is the truth about thought manifesting itself? Means, is law of attraction a true thing, or is there anything like that, or it is another scam of the society? What is the truth about that? Thank you.
It would be best for you to pursue that yourself and find your own answer. If I tell you it's a scam and you believe that it could be true, then you're robbing yourself of the opportunity of finding out.
Am I audible? Kapil? My question is, what as a parent I can do to foster a legend in a child, if it is possible?
Foster it in yourself.
Hi, Kapil. Thanks for taking my question, and thank you for the space. My question is really around where does spontaneity come in? I feel like my life, I've been in my mind trying to mentally image and achieve and set goals, and through listening to and reading and searching in myself, just trying to understand where natural inclination comes from inside versus maybe. Yeah.
Well, I think your trouble is that you're reading too many books.
Sure.
I mean, you're a victim of the culture. The goal setting and the things that you have mentioned, they smack strongly of one who has read a bunch of performance and motivational books.
Yeah, and that's what I'm usually getting rid of, and realizing that I've just been taking in my mind. So thank you. I'll chew on that.
/purpose/identity has anything to do with making of an legend?
Hello, Kapil. Hello, everyone. I would like to know, how exactly to deal with distraction, as it really becomes a literally eminent part of life.
Hi, Kapil. I wanted to ask if thought limits the possible incisiveness of the question that one asks of his craft, from what other substrate do these questions arise?
Well, it doesn't matter, because that's all you have right now. So it doesn't really matter what else.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm in a place right now where I can't sleep, right? Like my mind is just constantly running whilst I'm asleep, and I've got eczema and I'm scratching. Like I'm been ill for 5 months now. Is your work useful for someone like this, or am I wasting my time?
I recommend my work to no one.
Kapil, I wonder, what is your view on the team sport like soccer? Because when I was young, I was basically forced by my...
Those who've already asked a question, don't raise your hand.
Hi, Dr. Gupta. Thank you for the space. I receive your private discourses, and since reading your work, I've turned my attention and desire from outwardly success towards understanding and exploring my mind. My question for you is this deep desire to understand and potentially free oneself from the mind, is that also coming from the mind or somewhere else?
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. If the desire is there, then it's there. And wherever there's a desire, then there's an absolute possibility for the fulfillment of it.
Thank you.
Hi, Kapil. Thanks for the opportunity. Kapil, in one of the spaces, I had asked you this question as to when I read your work or listen to the some of your talks, I get into this state of meditativeness, but it asks if I don't have a DNA because of which it loses. And then you mentioned that perhaps because of the exposure my life to exposure to truth for only few months,
I can't hear you because it's breaking up. Every third or fourth word is breaking up.
Hi Kapil, I'm sorry. Perhaps we lost the connection. I was telling that when I read your work, I get into this state of meditativeness. When I listen to the talks, same thing happens, but it doesn't really last, and it just goes away. And when I asked you this last time, you mentioned that it could be because of the exposure to untruth for a much longer period of time than it's to the truth for a few months. So is there a time frame? Let's say if 32 years I've exposed myself to only untruth, then
there's no time frame.
Then
if you're looking for a goal, you're in the wrong place. If you keep listening, that's because something inside you is moved to listen to it, and there's no compulsion or need to do so. But time frame is a very intellectual thing. That's a very that's a very black and white sort of mind that is looking for a goal-oriented mind. And if I do this and this and this, you've just turned it into a prescription.
Hi, Kapil. I became drawn to your work because it helped me understand a lot of problems in my life. I wonder, is there something that the pursuit of being a legend can provide that essentially won't be just another stress in my life?
No, because you're looking at it. You're looking at it like you're going to go to the store and buy it, and therefore you're asking me, is it worth to go buy it? My answer is no. There's nothing to buy. There's nothing to go get. There's not a strategy. If you go get it, there's no strategy here. It's not good for you.
Hi, Kapil. Thanks for taking my question. So I have been able to achieve a certain level of material success in my life. And what I found as a pattern is that I will often seek those who I think can help me. But in doing so, I've been rejected, but that chip on my shoulder basically gets me to do it anyway. And it's happened so many times that I'm kind of...
I don't know. Can you explain that again? I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Sure. In seeking to be successful, I seek those who look successful to me and I ask them for help. And then I get rejected.
But you've already become successful. So why would you seek others to be successful if you're already successful?
Right. And that leads me to my question. I've seen this pattern occur over and over, and now I was raised very religious, and part of me is starting to feel like I'm developing this kind of hubris that they warn you about, that this may just even lead to the outright rejection of the idea of God. And so my question is, it's worked so far. Is this just another lie that society tells us that?
What has worked so far?
Doing it myself.
Your question is very unclear.
Yeah, just
what are you looking for?
Well, I was
looking for help for what?
I'm looking to expose myself to people who are successful, but in the rejection,
But you're already successful. I don't understand. What are you looking for more? You're looking for more success? Is that what it is?
Yes, apparently so. That's definitely what I'm looking for.
No. I'm not trying to be esoteric here. I'm asking you a straightforward question. Are you looking for? Don't turn it into some don't break a rule crap. Is that what you're looking for? Is more success?
Yes.
Okay. And the level of success that you've already reached is what level?
The tens of millions of dollars.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, whatever the number, I'm talking about the number. I'm talking about what level, meaning is it the level that is just a fraction of what you wanted, or it's a pretty good percentage or degree? I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about overall bird's eye view. It is a pretty significant it's in the neighborhood of the success that you wanted. Is that true?
Yes.
Like what you?
Yes. That's
okay.
True.
And so you're looking for more. Okay. So the first thing you have to get away from is this fear of saying that I want more success. Okay, that's all crap. If you have I don't care if you're a heathen. If you're true, then you won't listen to people who tell you you're a heathen. Those things are such the road to hell. I mean, even I was asking the question, I couldn't even get it out of you because you're afraid to say it, and that's not honesty. It's you have success and you're looking for more success. Okay, fine, great. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no problems. No rules have been broken here. There's no crime that's being committed here. In fact, that's how you become a legend. Is because you want more. It isn't enough for you, and whatever that thing may be. So the problem that you have made is not in wanting more success. The problem, the mistake that you made, is in looking to copy others and looking for mentors and looking for others who are successful, think that they'll give you some stupid advice that's going to make you successful, and that's just not true. What any desire that's there for anything, materialistic desire, monetary desire for conquering the mind, or whatever it may be, it doesn't matter about the content of the desire. There cannot be an ashamedness for wanting something. If you want it, you want it. Now, the effectiveness of getting that thing that an individual wants, that comes from truth. So, if whoever these people you went to, if they gave you their opinion, it's a waste of time. And there really is nothing else available in this world other than opinion. Because the number of people who are seeking truth in this world, and the number of people who are giving truth in this world are basically zero. So that was your mistake. Your mistake was not in desiring more. Your mistake was when you said, I want more. What should have been the case was, whatever I want, I must have the truth to get that thing. Whatever it is, that was the mistake. And that is the only thing, and that was the essence of the talk today. That is the only thing which makes someone get what they really want, is the truth about that thing, the truth about the ins and outs of it, the truth about what mistakes one has made in pursuing it, and that's why they haven't gotten the more. It's all about the truth. It's all about practical, hard reality, raw truth.
Thank you.
Hi. Am I audible? Hello.
Thank you for the time. My question is, what do you think about the person who always listen to the intuition? I mean, the example is when I'm plan to start.
I don't think anything about them, one way or the other.
May I go ahead with my question?
How do you know there is truth? How do you recognize truth?
I mean, the question makes no sense. From that question, it's clear that you don't know that there's truth or not. So there's no reason in even pursuing it. So don't. I'm not telling you there is truth or there's not. It doesn't matter. It's an irrelevant question. Forget truth. Forget all about it. It's not for you.
Emotions, like.
There is no check on anything. You've been reading too much spirituality and self-help jargon. That's why you were asking this question. And those things don't have any meaning. There's no check on anything. There's no dealing with anything. Everything comes back to cures. Everything comes back to the source of things, where they arise, why they arise, and their cure. There's no dealing with, there's no putting ointment on it, there's no doing stupid pujas and all this crap. Those are all prescriptive nonsense just to keep oneself busy and waste time, and time pass till they die.
No, but then
You didn't hear the answer because you responded. If you're going to respond, why the hell are you asking a question?
Are you happy?
Hello. Thank you for everything you do. I would like to know what is the cause behind a extremely active mind. Thank you.
Well, that's the nature of the mind, is to be reactive. So it really comes down to conquering it.
Thank you for taking my question. In a decision-making process, people tend to use logic or emotion. But in light of your readings, I've decided that both of these are not real. There's only the truth. Is this correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Pursuit of truth. Second question is,
are all minds the same?
You could say that more or less all societal people are the same, and therefore all minds are the same. Occasionally, one rare one comes along that is quite different than the rest. So, essentially, from a practical perspective, because the masses are the masses, you can basically make that point. But there's always a few exceptions.
Hello, Dr. Kapil. My question is that I have been reading your books, listening to your podcast for last few months, but I'm not able to understand much or explore much in my practical life. So I just want to know that how can I interpret your writings and your speaking so that it makes more sense to me?
I honestly can't answer that question. I mean, I'm sure you're not alone. I'm sure there are many who don't understand, and I don't try to dumb it down. I have no interest in that, because I have no interest in the masses looking at everything that I write. It's for a very specific person, and an individual must be willing to reach for it if he wants it. I'm not going to come down because it's not for the masses. It's for an individual who truly wants it, and if one doesn't understand, then that's the place to begin. That one doesn't understand. Through exposure, maybe he will understand. Maybe he won't understand. Whatever he does to bridge that gap of not understanding, if there is something that speaks to him on a visceral level, then that will make him pursue bridging that gap. Otherwise, it won't. The individual comes from a place of conditioning. For their entire lives, they've been listening to gurus and prescriptions and methods and techniques and hacks and all these recommended books and just nonsense crap. That's what they're used to. Therefore, when they come into my domain, they're used to that. Therefore, they don't get it. And most of the tenets, or most of the things that I write about are completely opposite of everything that someone's been told. So it is only natural that they won't understand, because it's out of left field. It's coming around the left side of the moon. So it is not at all unusual that you wouldn't understand. Now, where you go from here, I don't know. You'll have to watch yourself and see where you end up going. You may end up pursuing it further, or you may just drop it altogether. But I sympathize with the fact that you don't understand. That isn't at all unusual.
Hi there. I wanted to ask how to figure out what to really go and seek in life, and how to figure out.
I can't tell you that. I can't. There's no how to figure out.
Hi, I've been following you for a few years now, and your recent post about being unappreciative with an inflated ego will lead to pain. I've experienced that firsthand. My life sort of collapsed after being handed an education, house, car, and money on a silver platter. I worked for it, but unfortunate circumstances also gave that to me. I ruined my life in a pretty bad way. I have a good job now, still have the house, working on regaining capital, but I was just wondering, what is the road to, I guess, recovery in terms of from a psychological perspective, in terms of being able to be supremely appreciative and keep a low ego while still being able to pursue success and greater things. So remaining humble.
Appreciative of what?
Appreciative of having a life, a job, a roof over my head, while still being able to pursue
I don't know.
success.
I don't know. Why is that something to be appreciated? I mean, why? I don't understand this gratitude nonsense. I just don't. If you have it, then you did something to get it. If someone gave it to you and you want to be appreciative to them for giving it to you, that I understand. I understand that. That makes sense. And I don't understand that one wouldn't be appreciative to one who gave them, these things. That I don't understand. But this appreciation in general, like just walking around being full of gratitude, it's just hooey. I mean, it's just pie in the sky. It's not, there's nothing there. Why would you, I just don't understand the question. You want to walk around being appreciative. For what purpose? Just because it sounds nice? I don't understand. Now, you ask, what is the road to recovery? I mean, the road to recovery for anything really is honesty and truth. It's being honest with oneself and exposing one to truth. Not anything that you must go and do and practice and all that stuff. It really is looking inside oneself, and the more that one exposes oneself to truth in whatever domain one wishes to expose himself, then a possibility arises that they become more at ease with themselves.
Thank you.
Hey, Kapil. Just wondering, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that clients have come to you with that they thought were contributing to them becoming legends? And when you actually pointed them out and they dropped them, helped contribute to them becoming a legend? Thank you.
Probably the biggest misconception and is the biggest poison in the water that really basically no one ever gets over is because it's too deep. It's prescriptions. That's the biggest one. It's not even close. The how-tos, the methods, techniques, follow this, follow that. The habits of people who have become successful and go copy them. These things are just such crap. They lead to so much pain. They lead to so much waste of a life. They lead to so much running in circles, chasing one's own tail, with nothing to show for it at the end of a life. And even everything that I just said, no one should believe it. One can just examine their own life for verification. But you asked me what is the biggest misconception? That's it. It's prescriptions. There is no greater poison in society than that.
Hello, Kapil. Thank you for everything. I once heard you mention that one must have food on his plate before pursuing truth. So, should securing myself and my family take precedence over pursuit of truth and being a legend?
Are you ready to leave your family and let them starve?
No. I fear
the question doesn't have any meaning then.
I'm sorry. I fear it becoming an excuse.
What I was saying was that one must feed his stomach before he can feed his soul. And if one is working various jobs in order to make ends meet, then that necessarily and appropriately is their first order of business in life, is to feed themselves and their family. And then after that, once that's settled, pursue something that is, in a devotional way, above all things, that. Now, you can pursue truth in anything, but to devote oneself to it, and largely exclusively, one must take care of his everyday life first.
Hi. It's exciting to talk about legend work today. It's kind of been on my mind. I've worked hard to feed my stomach, and I feel like my stomach is quite full now. And it's been a few years of feeling like I have enough. And I do fun work that I feel a natural draw to do. And I kind of noticed that if these fun things keep going the way they're going, and they find their place in the world, someone could call it legendary results. And while I notice I have a pull to do this work, I also have a lot of fear around it. Like I don't want to say I don't want it to do well, because that wouldn't be truthful, but there is a part that's also maybe it can just be just enough to feed the family and kind of have this smaller safety. I'm not sure where the truth is in that. And sometimes it confuses me, because there's what I perceive as a genuine and authentic pull to do the work. And
I'm not sure what you're asking. Can you just clearly ask what you want to ask? Because you're all over the place. I'm not sure what you're asking.
I typically get what I want, and what I want now are crazier things that I am afraid of getting.
Okay, so you're afraid of getting them. Okay, so what?
I guess it's not enjoyable to feel fearful all the time.
Okay, it's not enjoyable to feel fear. So what?
So I don't want to feel fear, then it makes me not want to do the thing I want to do, because I don't want to feel fear. But then that's not true, because I don't want to do it.
Then don't do it. Then don't do it.
But I can't not do it. I get pulled back into doing it.
Okay, then do it.
Oh, but then I get fearful. It's a circle.
You're just chasing ghosts here. What do you want?
Okay.
It's a valid path for truth.
It was what everyone is driven to do.
Is the process.
Goodbye.